Janice put in is not, I'm doing mine. Mine is a Thich Nhat Hanh about water. Yeah, it's just in the, it's wrong in the thing.
Come, 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 come. Whoever you are, you're welcome here. No matter your age, your size, the color of your eyes, your hair, or lack thereof, your skin, you are welcome here. No matter how you came here, if you came alone or with others, you are welcome here. No matter whom you love or how you speak or whatever your abilities, you are welcome here. Whether you come with laughter in your heart or tears in your eyes, you are welcome here. If you come with an open mind, a loving heart, and willing hands, then you are indeed welcome here. Thank you. Welcome to First Unitarian Universalist Church of New Orleans, a congregation gathered in love since 1833 to seek wholeness and work for justice in the world. I am Ann McLean, and my pronouns are she and her. If you are a visitor, we invite you to raise your hand so that we can greet you. All right, welcome. As a lay-led congregation, we invite a variety of worship leaders from our congregation and the broader community to give the sermon and contribute to other parts of the service. Our worship leader today is Margot Anderson, a member of the congregation and of the choir. Some members of the church have asked us to pause the call to awareness and amends while we examine our relationship with both the words and with local indigenous groups. We continue to wish to remember that we are standing on land that was inhabited by others before us. Our service today will mostly follow our usual liturgy, but our theme is mining our hymnals for strength and inspiration. So we have invited various members of the congregation to share a favorite reading or hymn and to share how their selection speaks to them. So to start, I'll invite board member Amy Wing to share a personal reflection on her chosen chalice lighting.
Good morning. So I find my strength in nature. So I chose a chalice lighting that speaks to me both from that perspective. I spend as much time as I possibly can outdoors. I worked outdoors almost my whole life until I caught West Nile virus. And then now I go outdoors on my weekends. I went birding already this morning and didn't have time to go home and change, so my fragrance today is citronella. So I chose this reading for that reason, and also because I appreciate Thich Nhat Hanh and his meditations. So it is not reading 533 like in the program. It is actually reading 554. So please rise in body and spirit as we light the chalice of our heritage and read together number 554 in the gray hymnal, followed by our sung response, which I will not be singing because you don't want to hear that. Okay. Water flows from high in the mountains. Water runs deep in the earth. Miraculously, water comes to us and sustains all life. Water and sun green these plants. When the rain of compassion falls, even a desert becomes an immense green ocean.
Please be seated. I'll now ask our young adult group leader, Madeline Hawk, to come forward and share her choice for today's opening hymn.
Good morning. So the other day I was talking to a friend who grew up in the Baptist church about UU, and he asked me, why do we sing hymns in the UU church if it's not to worship God? And that question kind of stumped me because I didn't grow up in a church, so I'd never really had that relationship with hymns. I just knew that music was always one of my favorite parts of coming to church. It just had never occurred to me why, or to question what they mean in a UU context. So I still don't know if I have a good answer to that question. I've been reflecting on it, but I do know that the act of lifting our voices together is a powerful one, and that singing together is also a form of resistance. And I think that's why this hymn in particular has been speaking to me right now. There's a lot of things in the lyrics that I like, but I especially love the phrasing, "How can I keep from singing?" As though hope is not a choice, but it's just something that's inevitable and indestructible that's already inside of us. So please rise in body or spirit and join me in singing number 108 in the Gray Hymnal, "My Life Flows On."
Please be seated.
Hello. Good morning. Can I have all my young at heart friends join me up here for our Time for All Ages? Yay. And while they come up, you can go ahead and open your hymnal. ages, I wanted us to play a little game, and I'm hoping the choir will help me out, even though I didn't warn y'all. I want to hear what are the things you do with your friends, family, community that help you sustain each other's hope. So my example is baking together. And quick plug, bread communion is next week, bring your bread. So, can we sing a verse that goes, come bake some bread with me? No. No games ever played. They played a fun game about yucky ice cream. You didn't play that game? What about come play a game with me? One or two more verses from y'all? What do you guys like to do? Yeah. Dance? Come dance a dance with me.
The children are welcome to spend the rest of the service with us or to visit the kids' room down the hall on the right.
Now is the time for prayer and reflection. After this time for prayer and reflection, we'll go into a time of silence in which Dwayne will then lead us in our meditation hymn. So in our hymnals, on number 494, there's a prayer from W.E.B. Du Bois that goes as follows. The prayer of our souls is a petition for persistence, not for the one good deed or single thought, but deed on deed and thought on thought, until day calling on to day shall make a life worth living. And now the full prayer of this, which W.E.B. Du Bois wrote this to his students at Clark Atlanta University, then called Atlanta University, in 1909 during the time of Jim Crow. And it's very much a prayer of self-determination, detailing the journeys of liberation for self and for others. It's very much a call to self, a call to others, a call to keep working, to keep persisting, keep resisting. And the prayer in its full entirety goes, give us grace, O God, to dare to do the deed which we all know cries to be done. Let us not hesitate because of ease or words from the mouths of others or our own lives. Mighty causes are calling us, the freeing of women, the loving of children, the putting down of hate and murder and poverty and war, all these and more. But they call with voices that mean work and sacrifice and death. Yet with joy, yet with hope, the prayer of my soul is a petition for persistence, not for the one good deed or the one single thought, but deed upon deed, thought upon thought, hope upon hope, love upon love, prayer upon prayer, and work upon work, until day calling unto day shall make a life worth living. These words resonate with me oh so much every single day, and I hope they resonate with you as well as we enter into this time of silence and meditation, thinking about what that day upon day, calling on today, makes a life worth living.
I will now ask our greeter and Christmas tree guru, Kathy Hubble, to come forward and share about today's responsive reading.
Good morning, everybody. When I first came to my first service, when we were located on the corner of Jefferson and Danielle 39 years ago, I had my son Shannon with me, and he was about to turn 5 years old. And I had known UUs over the years since college, both in San Francisco and in Massachusetts, but being raised essentially unchurched, I didn't feel a great compulsion to become involved in a community, a religious community, until I had a child of my own. And I had certain thoughts about what I wanted for him in that regard. And most importantly to me, it was that he was not to be forced into a set belief system or, that horrible word dogma that seemed to be so much a part of traditional religious gatherings and congregations. But I had a sense that this was not true of the Unitarian Universalist community. And so we came that day, and he went into Pat Henry's RE class, and he had the best time. And he wanted to come back Sunday after Sunday, and he invited his friend Kyle to come too. And then Kyle's parents came, and they joined the church after me, after some months. In fact, they came to a Thanksgiving service, and they were so impressed. They were ready to sign the book almost immediately. So, in any event, this brings me to the reading that resonated with me. And the reason it resonated with me was because it sort of confirmed my my hopes for my immersion in this community, for both myself, but also most importantly for my son. And I would like now for you to please join me in our responsive reading. The Great End in Religious Instruction, found at number 652 in your gray hymnal. I'll begin, and please respond with the text in italics. And I have to say, we don't publicize this enough. So I'll begin with, the great end in religious instruction is not to stamp our minds upon the young, but to stir up their own.
Not to make them see with our eyes, but to look inquiringly and steadily with their own.
Not to give them a definite amount of knowledge, but to inspire a fervent love of truth.
Not to form an outward regularity, but to touch inward springs.
Not to bind them by ineradicable prejudices to our own particular sect or particular notions.
But to prepare them for impartial, conscientious judging of whatever subjects may be offered to their decision.
Not to burden the memory, but to quicken and strengthen the power of thought.
Not to impose religion upon them in the form of arbitrary rules, but to awaken in conscience the moral discernment.
In a word, the great end is to awaken the soul to excite and cherish spiritual life. Thank you.
So instead of a message from one person this morning, I invited various members of our congregation to share personal reflection on a favorite or otherwise meaningful selection from our hymnals. Singing the Living Tradition, which was the original, and then followed by Singing the Journey. And it was an impossible task. There are probably 100 hymns that I feel, really speak to me, but I picked hymn number 6, I Will Answer Yes to Life. It's a simple hymn in just 3 verses, and to me, it imagines our own funeral, but I find that it encapsulates my personal vision of our faith. The first verse challenges us to value life even when it seems to bring so much pain. Sometimes it is the first challenge of the day to not fall into despair, but without saying yes to life. No other aspirations are even possible. The second verse challenges us to seek truth. This can be a very vexing element of our faith. We profess shared values, but not shared truth. And how I see the truth can only be through my eyes. My truth may seem wrong, misguided, dangerous, small to you. So to see truth, we must commit to engaging with other trusted truth tellers and others with different views, maybe even radically different views, and others with different experiences to further refine and affirm our own truth. The third verse really nicely predicted last year's newly ratified UUA Article 2, love being at the center, and to me is the real goal of accepting the challenges to embrace life and to seek truth. If they ask what I did best, tell them I said yes to love. I find many times in my daily life I am quite far from responding to those I meet in this world. Friends, patients, loved ones, colleagues, the lady behind the counter at the pharmacy, to meet them consistently with love. I often respond not with love, but with frustration or anger or resentment. But we are called as UUs to serve the world with love. Quoting from Article 2, love is the power that holds us together and is at the center of our shared values. We are accountable to one another for doing the work of living our shared values through the spiritual discipline of love. Will you join me now in singing hymn number 6 in our gray hymnal, Just as Long as I Have Breath, and we'll remain in our seats for the next few reflections and hymns.
Just as long as I have breath, I
now I'll ask longtime choir member Veronica Young to come forward and share a personal reflection on her chosen hymn.
Hello, everybody. I picked Blue Boat Home for several reasons. As long as I can remember from a child on up to this moment, my favorite genre of books has been science fiction. And a lot of that science fiction has been about a big blue marble, which of course is Earth sailing through the heavens. And this song always reminded me of that. And then when I was maybe a young woman, very young woman, the first actual photos of Earth from the moon came out, and that was so exciting and beautiful. And it just reawakened my love of that image. And then there is the rhythm of the song, which is the rhythm of a boat on the water. And a good part of my life I have with my family of origin, and then here with my husband, not since we got divorced, but sailboats. And sailboats were a big part of my life, and I remember after Katrina, we had a boat, and we found it like 3 boats up on this humongous pile of boats out by the lakefront. And that's the last boat I ever had, but this song brings back the feeling of sailing on the waves. And the last thing is, and I think it's been mentioned before, that I love this song so much, I have put it in my folder that says, "When I Die." And so, and so it's instructions of everything I want to happen at my memorial service. And this song is right up there at the top, to be sung by everyone, just remembering what a beautiful planet we live on. Thank you. Oh, yeah, I'm supposed to say now. Please join me in singing number 1064 in your teal hymnals, Blue Boat Home. And do I stay here?
Away from the road.
ask Coffee Lady Edie Wolf to come forward and share her personal reflection on her chosen hymn.
Good morning, everyone. I chose When Our Heart is in a Holy Place, and I think part of this is because I've always been fond of these kind of traditional American spiritual songs. Also, it's in my range, which is about 3 notes in any direction. I always like the Ringo songs. So, but aside from that, I grew up listening to a lot of bluegrass, and so, like, as a little kid, I was singing, if I could touch the hem of his garment, it would make me free, while all my other friends are singing, who knows what. But it was the bluegrass kind of revival of the 1970s was kind of a counterculture movement, and I think this is why this is in my mind, that my parents were invested into taking us to these bluegrass festivals, was, if you think about how divided the U.S. was during the Vietnam War, and kind of this hippie culture started looking for their own signs of what it was to be American. And there was an album, the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band made that Will the Circle Be Unbroken with all the Grand Ole Opry singers, and discovered like all these really essential, authentic markers of what America is, and if you think about that, was such a healing moment, and also that you didn't have to recognize America as your government, but America was in the soil and in the people. At any rate, and so, this kind of came to me as I was thinking, why am I so drawn to this kind of language and these kind of messages, and that kind of healing just came out, and if anyone's going to save us, it's going to be the artists, this is, we can look towards them. So in this, this hymn, clearly this Unitarian has taken these Christian motifs, these Christian adages, but made them very humanist. And I really love this, when your heart is in a holy place, and thinking of the holy as something inside us. And then we're filled with grace, and grace is what the omniscient, benevolent God sheds on us despite us being sinners. But grace is in each of us, and we need to be looking at our fellow humans, and also wielding that same grace, and that same forgiveness, and that we're all in this together, and we're all part of an interconnected web of life. And so all of that comes out in this very simple, easy to sing song, that suggests that within each of us is the universe, the heaven, forgiveness, and grace. So please join me in singing When Our Heart is in a Holy Place, number 1008 in your teal hymnal.
When our
And now I'll ask FUNO Board President Beverly Rainbow to come forward and share her reflection on the hymn she chose for this morning.
Hi, y'all. So I chose This Little Light of Mine because it brings me back to my childhood. Because to me, it is the epitome of universalism in that the light is from within, not light coming down from above, it's within. And what I love about the song is that everyone, by implication, because everyone can sing it, everyone has the light. And that we share the light. We're mandated to share the light and to go around and build the world up with the light. I like it because it's a song that I can maintain from my childhood. Because the songs of my childhood were scary. They were about the blood of the Lamb and marching to war and dying on a cross, and it was scary. And this is not scary. This is the light. What I love about the song, and I have to tell you that I grew up with two other verses. One verse being, gonna hide it under a bushel, no. And of course, as kids, we love that, no. That's the part we could sing. And then there was another verse, ain't gonna let Satan blow it out. No. So those are fun. They're not very Unitarian, but the hiding it under a bushel, I'm not sure why that, because, we did that was our light, and then hide it under a bushel. No! So I love this song because of its simplicity and what it tells us. I love this song because it was the first popular recording was by a black country western musician, Ray Price. And I love this song because Fannie Lou Hamer stood outside of the Democratic National Convention in 1964 singing This Little Light of Mine as it became a civil rights movement song. So I also love this song because when I sing it, it brings me back to the late 50s, and I am in Patsy Berry's backyard. Patsy Berry was raised Nazarene, Church of the Nazarene. I was raised Methodist, but we shared this song. And when I sing this song, I am in Patsy Berry's backyard on her swing set as we scream, sing it, and swinging as high as we can until the swing set tilts and the light is shining. So if you'll turn to page 118 in your gray hymnal and sing This Little Light of Mine. Okay, and this is a good stand one, yes.
now I'll ask Funo's new music director, Dwayne White, to come up and share about the hymn that he chose.
Hello, everyone. I was raised Pentecostal from birth. So I sung all those hymns that they were talking about, they were horrible. But you were like, at the time, you weren't supposed to think they were horrible. And you were supposed to just sing them and accept it the way they were. And I did that for up until I was like 35 years old. So I sang those hymns for 35 years. My grandmother was the church organist. My granddaddy was the song leader. My dad is also a song leader. And my daughter sings, my son sings, and I sing. And when I was around 35, that's when I got my first job in an Episcopal church. And the first time I heard this hymn, I thought, this is the most glorious thing I've ever heard. Now, I was playing on a big pipe organ. We don't have a pipe organ here, but I'll do the best I can on the piano. But let me tell you about this hymn, if I can get my phone open. Sometimes a great tune can keep a hymn text alive, but sometimes a great text can revive a neglected tune, and the latter is true in this case. The noted British hymnologist John Wilson suggested that the Methodist poet and hymn writer Fred Pratt Green write a text to the tune of Engelberg. Engelberg is the tune that we sing for all the saints, but we've changed the words in the UU Church. And he composed that tune in 1904 and by the famous British composer Charles Villiers Stanford. Stanford's tune had been well known in the earlier 20th century. That is, until Ralph Vaughan Williams got a hold of it, and he composed the immensely popular Sine Nomine in the same meter, which was For All the Saints in the English hymnal. Sorry. Hymnologist J.R. Watson records, I'm sorry, I'm having trouble with my phone. Hymnist J.R. Watson records that Wilson urged Pratt Green to write a text for a festival of praise that could be sung to Stanford's neglected tune. And Pratt Green based his text on Psalm 150, and he also alludes to Mark 14 and 26 in the fourth stanza. Dr. Young speculates that this text has been put to more choir anthems than any other text in the 20th century. Would you please stand? What page is it? Page 36 in your hymnal, When in Our Music, God is Glorified.
Generosity is a spiritual discipline, and we can now practice our act of giving by either by placing your offering in the collection plate or by using the information in your order of service to give electronically. Gifts to this community are gratefully received. Let us acknowledge that by reading together the words in your order of service. This gift from the abundance of my life blesses me, our ministries, and the world. Giving in the offering plate and pledging are part of how we steward this congregation. There are countless other ways to serve, build community, and share our love with the rest of the city and world. Here are a few opportunities coming up. First of all, we have a special congregational meeting today here in the chapel after coffee hour. And apparently you can bring your drinks in if you have a covered cup. But don't spill anything. Okay. This is for information sharing and listening. There's not going to be any votes, but it's going to be a time to talk about the budget, the process, prioritize giving and spending to support our values. We still need people to volunteer for the tree sellers. That's in 2 weeks. So if you haven't signed up for that first weekend, please find Kathy Hubble, who just walked out with the money. Find her at coffee hour and sign up for a slot. You don't have to be able to lift trees, although it helps, but there's plenty of other work to do. RE has a couple of things coming up. There's a campfire next weekend and talk to Barrett for more details. That one didn't get into the digest. And the next Sunday is bread communion, and that's when we all are asked to bring a piece of kind of bread, some bread from our heritage or our personal practices, and then we share it. So bring your bread next week and get your kids excited about that. And now I'm going to ask, all the other announcements can be found at the QR code or in the digest. And now I'm going to ask Jody Manali to come up with a stewardship, our final stewardship spotlight announcement.
If you look at our beautiful Thrive tree, we have 46 hearts on it. That means 46 individuals and or couples have made pledges to the First Unitarian Universalist Church in New Orleans for 2025. The reason this is important is because almost half of our budget depends on our members and friends pledging each year. And we need you to pledge at this time of the year so that the finance team can work on developing a budget based on what you all have pledged together, and we know how to go forward for next year. So as of right now, our pledge total is $71,335, or 79% of our pledge goal. And 69% of our pledging units have pledged. A pledge unit is an individual or a couple who make pledges together. So we've got 46 total hearts on the Thrive tree. And I would ask, if you haven't made your pledge yet, I have some forms with me today. Or if your canvasser is working with you, we have a few people we're trying to still contact, so we can hopefully get this up a little bit before the finance team has to make some final decisions on the budget. And if you're going to pledge in some unique way, some people are saying they pledged online. I have no idea what they're talking about. There's a way you can sign up to make recurring payments online, but we don't have any set up for people to pledge online. So if you've not filled out a pledge form, please see me after and help us out by being willing to complete your pledge form. Thanks very much.
All right. Please rise and bow to your spirit and join in our chalice extinguishing, which is in the order of worship. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Okay, you can be seated. I'm going to share my reflection on a favorite hymn of mine. It's number 170, We Are a Gentle, Angry People. And I have to say, I knew this song before it was placed in our hymnal in 1994 because I had been familiar with and a fan of Holly Near's music and activism since the mid to late 1970s. Holly Near was already an activist when she accompanied Jane Fonda and others on that controversial visit to Vietnam in 1971. You usually don't hear her name associated with that, but she was there. And before and after, she wrote songs with anti-war themes. And by the time I learned about her in the mid-70s, she, along with Meg Christian and Chris Williamson, was among the most popular singer of songs for and about lesbians. I was thrilled to get to see her live at the National Lawyers Guild Conference in 1979. My expenses out there to San Francisco were paid by our stuffy law school administration. Little did they know they were supporting such a radical agenda. Lawyers Guild are very radical left lawyers. And Holly Near's dedication to activism has remained strong over the years, focusing on the need for justice for marginalized groups and people. And as an aside, she was even the first person asked to write the theme song for the movie 9 to 5, even though her effort was supplanted when Dolly Parton's came along. And I have to say Dolly's is a little bit better. But this song acknowledges being gentle and angry, which is what many of us are right now. And then it describes other characteristics of her people, our people, justice-loving, old and young, gay and straight, many colors, ending with us as a gentle, loving people. A reminder that, again, is especially poignant these days when many of us are still leading with anger and hurt. I do have a problem with the words in verse 4 that say we're a land of many colors. I prefer to say we are people of many colors. So I'm going to substitute those words when we sing it, although it messes up the meter just a little bit. And I know we're running late, and I was asked, do you really want to sing all 6 verses? And I looked at it, and I couldn't find one to cut. So bear with us. Number 170, we are a gentle, angry people.
Would you stand, please?
In the words of Eric Williams, the world is too beautiful to be praised by only one voice. May you have the courage to sing your part. The world is too broken to be healed by only one set of hands. May you have the courage to use your gifts. May you go in peace.